All right, folks, it is Thursday afternoon officially. It's 12:01 here in Augusta. I have two of my favorite employees joining us on our Golf.com midday live stream, Jess Marksbury and Alan Bastable. Guys, were you awake at 7 a.m. this morning watching Jack and Gary hit those tee shots in the rain?
I was absolutely up. I've got 4 young kids, so I don't sleep. So 7 a.m. is not early for me, but it was sort of an appropriate start, I think, to what is, obviously a very weird Masters in so many regards. Been waiting sort of 19 months for this moment, and it's been spelled out in all kinds of ways how this week is different. So to see sort of Jack and Gary in the gloom this morning, in some ways felt appropriate. And then, what happened, an hour later, play is suspended, and we're all left dangling. Been waiting so long for this moment, for this Masters, and everybody was forced to wait just a few minutes longer.
I was a little surprised that they actually hit those tee shots, and it sounds like Gary and Jack kind of striped it. Jess, I feel like Jack and Barbara, with Barbara as his caddy, it's probably like 11 out of 10 on the cuteness scale.
I mean, weren't those pictures amazing? Just like, in a way, the gloom kind of added to just the drama and the kind of prestige of the moment. I love that photo. We have it circulating on articles on Golf.com right now of arms around each other, walking up to the clubhouse, which is kind of lit from within, and it's almost like a Thomas Kinkade painting, where it's a lovely sight, and it did give us something nice to look at this morning. Where I wasn't even sure it was going to go off, Sean, because looking at the forecast yesterday, it seemed like today could be a complete and total washout. So the fact that we are playing golf right now, even if we don't finish the first round, I think is a huge win.
Yeah, we had a 3-hour delay, and if you can at least see behind me, there's no wind. It's sunny. The rest of the forecast today looks pretty solid here in Augusta, but this golf course is dripping. It is soaking wet. And with no wind, like, birdies are piling up. It just makes me think I might be crazy, but could we see a 64 today? Could we see someone go super low in the afternoon? I mean, this course, you just have to hit it straight now, and the ball is going to sit exactly where you hit it.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to have to. This is one of those days where I think you need to take advantage of the conditions. It's obviously going to play longer. I mean, even we haven't seen too many shots today, but I did notice, Tiger's tee shot on 10, it just sat down. Usually you see that ball roll down that chute, and guys have 150 yards in. Not so much the case today. I mean, obviously balls are going to be sitting, course going to be playing longer. Does that play into the hands of Bryson and Justin Thomas and Bubba and guys like that? Conventional wisdom, maybe you would think yes, but you think back to when Zach Johnson won, how tough those conditions were. I heard some guys on the Golf Channel talking about it this morning. I think 4 of the top 5 that year were certainly not considered long hitters. So Augusta's kind of course, it's all about obviously getting in play off the fairway, but it's really the second shot. So regardless of whether you've got a 5-iron in your hands or 7-iron, the guys who can hit that second shot, know where to leave their approaches, they're the ones who are going to succeed this week.
Well, mud balls. How about mud balls? I mean, we say hit it into the fairway. You're going to be fine hitting into the fairway, but this is not lift, clean, in place, at least yet. And guys are going to be dealing with mud on their golf balls on those second shots. So there's nothing easy about it. I think when you get into trouble is when you go mega left, like Bryson did on 11, and he went long and right on 13. I think that's how you get into trouble out here. What's interesting, though, is that everyone was talking about Bryson. We're talking about his driver. Is he going to bomb his way around Augusta? And he's pretty errant, at least to start, right, Jess?
Yeah, this is not an ideal start for Bryson DeChambeau, and I say that as someone who took him this week as my favorite. So
going out on a limb.
But here's the thing, though, to your point about today's conditions and being soft and really needing to capitalize out there, you know what? The forecast looks really good through the weekend. I mean, the temperatures are going to be in the 70s. The wind looks like it's going to stay down, 7 miles per hour and below, right, for the next several days. So I think for guys that maybe don't get off to an ideal start today, like Bryson, stay calm, right? I mean, it's going to stay soft and it's going to stay gettable, I believe, for the next 3 rounds. So, whatever Bryson does throughout the rest of this first round, I'm sure he'll bounce back, and there is plenty of golf to be played. So I don't think we should panic, judging by how guys have an opening round today.
Well, we can look at the leaderboard right now. We have Scotty Scheffler 3 under, Lee Westwood 3 under, handful of guys at 2 under. I mean, this course, as tough as it always is, the leaders are going to get to 12 to 15, maybe even 16 under. So, I mean, birdies are out there. Birdies are definitely out there.
Lee Westwood was originally my sleeper pick, and I was told by the fellow who runs our Golf.com picks pool that he did not qualify as a sleeper, which to me was a head scratcher at like plus 10,000 or something. But, Jess, to me, the most fascinating part of today is going to be given Bryson's start. Jess mentioned not panicking, which obviously is a good strategy for the first round of any major, regardless of how you play. I'm going to be really interested to see how Bryson processes what's happened in these first couple of holes. It could have been a lot worse, right? 11 was messy. Somehow he made par. Saw what happened on 13 with the double. Bryson is, for as well as he has played in recent months, and all the due credit that's been given to him, he can run hot, right? We haven't seen that in a big moment recently because he's been playing so well. I mean, Winged Foot was a breeze. How is he going to respond to a little bit of adversity here early in the first round? To me, is going to be fun to watch.
Is he a grinder? Do we know Bryson to be a grinder? I think you could say he actually grinded out rounds at the first 2 majors of the year at Harding Park and at Winged Foot, but there's just more pressure here, man. He was not the favorite at either of those majors, and now he's the favorite. He is just the talking point every single night on every single channel when it comes to golf. So I don't know. I think he is aware of the pressure. How does he handle it? I don't trust him. It's hard to.
The guy won the U.S. Amateur, right? I mean, we know he's a grinder. We know that he can dig deep. And, this will be, as you said, Alan, this is going to be a really big test for him. And the thing is, you can't make too many double bogeys around Augusta National. Think you can get away with 1, maybe 2, but if you want to come away with the green jacket, I mean, it kind of has to stop there. I'd have to go back into the record books and see how many winners, how many doubles, right, did winners have over the past several years. But
you're in the right place. I know all this information.
Off the top of your head, Sean, give it to me.
Off the top of my head, the last champion to have multiple double bogeys was Craig Stadler in the 80s. Spieth almost made this happen in 2016, but his 3rd double bogey landed in Rays Creek, and we saw what happened there. So you're exactly right. If you start racking up double bogeys, of course, you can make 20 birdies this week, but it will not add up enough. The guys that really avoid the blow-up holes out here, the blow-up 9s, so to say, are the guys that will be there on Sunday.
That's a great stat. I'm so glad that you have that at your disposal because, it plays right into what we're talking about. He's going to need couple eagles if he wants to mitigate those double bogeys. So, it all comes down to, I think, for Bryson, yes, he has the prodigious length. You got to hit it in the fairway still, right? You can't be searching for your ball off the tee every single hole. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to hold out hope for him. And as you said, Alan, we'll see how he handles this, especially going into his second 9.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. We were talking about this yesterday a little bit. I can't remember a time when there's been, outside of peak Tiger, a time when there's been this much attention on a single player, certainly over the last 10 years, maybe when Tiger made his comeback after the scandal that week. But every press conference this week, 2 or 3 questions in, it's Bryson, right? And the players, they don't seem irritated outside of maybe Brooks. They don't seem irritated by having to answer Bryson questions. I think they're all as intrigued by what he's doing and what he's accomplished as the rest of us are. So that's ultimately the question, right? Is these expectations that have been weighted upon him, much of which he's brought on himself, right?
Yeah.
He's not a guy to duck the spotlight. He loves it. He's out there mixing it up and keeping us on the edge of our seats. But ultimately, how will he deal with those expectations week after week as they continue to mount is going to be something to watch.
Yeah, well, we've certainly have not changed the script in our first midday check-in. We had Bryson all week long, and we pretty much spent the entire time talking about Bryson here. So we'll wrap it up for now. We're doing midday coverage every day this week. So stay tuned to this and stay tuned to the rest of Golf.com for all of Master Week coverage. See you guys.
See ya.